Good to do that. Hey guys, see some people logging on. How's everybody doing today, this evening, MLK Day? And if you guys could just let me know if you can hear me pretty good, mic good, audio good, not too loud. Just let me know if you can hear me pretty good, mic good, audio good, not too loud. Sweet. Appreciate it. Hey Sheena, how are you? So I'll just give a few minutes just to allow a few people to log in and get connected. This is also, I'm going to try to make this shareable. This is the first time I'm actually sharing on. Let me turn down the mic volume a little bit. Let me turn down. This is the first time I'm actually going to be sharing, going live on on my business page. So usually we go live on my personal page, but I want to do something different today. So cool. All right. I'm going to pull the comments over here. All right. Just wait a few more minutes. And while we wait on people, I got a question I just want to ask the people that are logged in right now. I guess, just in a few words or a few sentences, what are a couple of things that you that sort of trouble you about business, right? Just a few words. Like, is it taxes? Is it marketing? Is it advertising specifically? Is it customer retention? Just one of the things to struggle with. Um, Let me go first, right? One of the things that I struggle with to an extent is being not delegating good enough. That has always been one of my problems. I have a hard time delegating. I have a hard time letting things go. I always want to be on top of most things. So that has been one of the things that I've been trying to do with my businesses, is being able to hire managers and people who can actually make it function like I'd want it. Sheena, you say you hate losing money. Listen, you to an extent you sort of inspired that post I made. I There's so many places you can lose money. I'm actually going to put that question up on here. All right. So the question is profit and loss, hate losing money. Listen, I I've been blessed to an extent. I mean, I put in a lot of work, but I would say I've been blessed and lucky in business to an extent that I've never actually recorded a business loss. Not once, not in any of my businesses. Now, it's not through some Dexter whatever, or I'm not some sort of like crazy business guru or whatever, because there are people who are very successful in business that have recorded losses. It's not a bad thing, right? Now, there's so many places that you can record losses from. One is advertising. One is marketing, making sure that you actually get into the right people who are most likely to purchase your product, purchase your service, or hire you as a personal service. So I'm not going to touch on that tremendously today, but that's something that I'm going to probably focus on for next video. Okay. All right. So I'm going to get started. We just have a few people on, and that's totally fine. This video, I'm going to try to see if I can make it available for sharing and things like that. So let's get started. So first of all, thank you everybody that is tuned into this live video. I greatly appreciate it. I had just closed on a deal yesterday, and I made a post saying, "Hey, I have been able to make $30,000 four times, spending about $400 each time in advertising." And I know that sort of sounded like some, man, show me the tea, man. This is some. It's not a get rich quick thing, right? When I say I use Facebook ads to actually attract that amount of revenue, is being able to target the right people and really just understanding the fundamentals of how Facebook advertising works. So at the end of this live video, I want you guys to be able to get a general understanding of the importance of incorporating Facebook advertising into your marketing basket. All the tools, all the places that you advertise, whether it's a trade show, Google ads, email marketing, Facebook ads is probably one of the biggest right now. And if you are not running, if you're not running Facebook ads in 2021, 2022, listen, you're leaving a lot of money on the table. But running Facebook ads is not the end of the story. You actually have to fully understand what you're doing or hire an expert to help you run your Facebook ads. So let's get started. As many of you guys know, my name is Uche. I am the owner of SkyTouch Photos, a photography company that's been around for about 14 years. I'm also the owner of Angelo's Garden, now Angelo's Garden Holdings. And we also on Smart As Biz, which is a business coaching service, something that I recently started last year during the pandemic. And also AG Floral and Design is a company that specifically is attached to Angelo's Garden, but it's a totally separate beast when it comes to just revenue, taxes, and income and things like that. So that's who I am. And so I talked about the post to an extent. I also want to point out, before we get into Facebook, I want to point out the importance of marketing, right? If you have a business, you can have the greatest idea out there, whether it's you're an artist, or you do some carpentry, make furniture and things like that. You can have the greatest business, but if you cannot get your business out to people who actually need it, the business is just as good as the only people that know about it, which may be your family and your friends. You have to be able to, when you create a business, you have to be able to find tools and means to get that business to reach as many people as possible. Like, you want to broadcast it. You want to stand on top of a mountain and tell everybody, hey guys, I have a business right here and I want you to be my customer. Now, we can't physically do that, but we have so many tools, in-person marketing and digital marketing, and several tools that we have that we can reach our potential clients. So for me, I'll just say the kind of advertising that I do. Of course, I am a one-on-one person when I meet with people and try to sell like my venue or photography. I also use Facebook ads, which is one of the tools that I use a lot. I also use Google ads, which has been around for a long time. I don't do email marketing, even though I think email marketing is still powerful. So that's what I use. And at the end of this live video, I'm going to keep it open for whatever questions you guys have about what I do or as it relates to Facebook ads and things like that. So why are Facebook ads so important in 2022? Why is it so important to have your business having a Facebook page or an Instagram page? Lots of people that I've talked to always talk about how, man, Facebook ads don't work for me. I've tried them. They just don't work. I feel like I'm wasting my money. The problem is you have to be able to do it right. It's not just going on a post and hitting the boost button and maybe changing and tinkering with a few things. You have to actually do a lot to make sure your Facebook ads are working and returning the adequate revenue or profit from that you're paying to put those ads up. You see, Facebook ads, Facebook or Meta, however you want to call it, is it's a $1 trillion company. There's a reason why it's $1 trillion company. If the advertising doesn't work, then Facebook would not have such a huge capital base. It works. Now, this, and I will tell you, and hopefully somebody asked this question at the end, there are some businesses that would struggle using Facebook ads, and I'll explain that a little bit later. And in case I forget, somebody please remind me and keep me humble on that. So back in the day, people have always had the quest to want to get their business out to people. You can go as far back as, prehistoric times when you'd have people come to town with newspaper, read all about it. And then we graduated to catalogs. The first time there was ever an order catalog, I think it was some 18 something, where you were able to order goods and items from a catalog. Fast forward to the 90s. Email marketing became a huge thing. Most businesses were doing email marketing. Well, email marketing is not as effective as it used to be, not because it's bad now. It's just the fact that times have changed. It's very important to make sure your marketing strategy for your business is actually keeping up with the times that we're in right now. Fast forward, Google Ads became a thing. And lots of people jumped on Google Ads. And Google Ads was, people are clicking on your ad that are actually looking for and interested in your services. And Google Ads still work great till today, but they don't work as great as Facebook ads. Facebook is one of the most powerful ad machines out there. I know people talk about TikTok and things like that, and I think those are good. But Facebook covers the Facebook itself and also Instagram. And that's where majority of people spend most of their time. Those two sites, those two social networks have, combined, I think over 1 billion people who are on those services. So if you have a good that you can sell to places around the world or around the country, you have access to a ton of people who are constantly looking at their cell phones. So that's why I feel like Facebook is very important. So, so let me give you so for anybody who sort of still questions if Facebook is actually a good outlet for advertising, just think about this for a second, right? Yesterday, this is a real life example. Yesterday, I made a post about how I was able to turn $400 in paid ads to $30,000 at least 4 times last year. That got a lot of people's attention. It's a true story. It really happened. Actually, I think it happened more than 4 times. But just I could remember when I made that post, there were 4 particular moments that I was thinking about. So lots of people who are interested in business jumped on this post, jumped on that and started liking it and all that stuff, and have liked the business page and all that. Now, just imagine for a second. Imagine for a second if I say, hey, I have the goods. I have the key to unlock your Facebook advertising, which I actually really do, right? But you have to hire me as a client to actually go in and physically help you with your Facebook ads. But just imagine for a second if I say, hey, you know what? I'm not giving this information out for free. I'm going to charge $100 for each person who is really interested in getting this information. There are about 280 people that were interested in it. And just imagine for a second if about half of those people decided that, you know what, I think this information is worth $100 and I am going to pay for it. So we had 280 people. If you divide that number by half, you get 140 people. I charge $100. I just made $14,000. Just like that. I paid $0 for that, but I'm able to make $14,000 because I have information that can help a lot of people improve their businesses and get greater scale on their businesses and improve their marketing ad campaigns. So now just for a second, that was just one Facebook post. The way Facebook ads work, right, in comparison to Google ads or anything else. With Google Ads, people are actually going to search, hey, I'm looking for a plumber. You go to Google and you find a list of plumbers in your area, or I'm looking for concert tickets. You go in there and you see Ticketmaster and all the other ticket sites, and you go buy your ticket, which is great because you can also do that on Facebook. And also your Facebook page could also add SEO to your Google results. But with Facebook ads, it's not only giving people access based on what they're looking for, but it's also reminding people every day that are on Facebook that, hey, you may actually need this product. You may actually want this. For example, if I buy soccer cleats for my son, guess what? I'm going to start seeing ads for soccer balls and things like that. That's how powerful Facebook is. It actually gives your potential client information about what this person could possibly need without them even knowing they need it. I remember there was a period when people were always saying, man, I think Facebook is listening to us. I think that it is. It really is. And it's watching everything you do. So that's the power of Facebook ads versus Google and email. So now let me go into a little bit of what the requirements are to actually have a successful Facebook ad campaign, right? So you have to, first of all, now one thing I want to dispel. I know there are people out there who run Facebook ads by just hitting the boost posts and maybe tinkering with a few things. And that's not the appropriate way to run Facebook ads. And there's also something I wanted to show you guys about the sort of ads that I get, right? I screenshotted it. Let me see if I can pull it up on the screen. Okay, so I'm into photography and video and things like that. So these are the kind of things that I see every time I log into my my Facebook, right? This one is pretty funny. I'm a huge fan of Built Basics, and so they're constantly sending me ads. I'm a constant customer, and they know that. So every time they have a new line out, a new sort of shirt, pants, shoes, whatever the case is, I'm constantly getting ads. I'm constantly getting ads even when I'm not on Facebook or Instagram. That's the power of Facebook ads. Because of my I like the company, and I love, actually that's one of the shirts that I'm wearing right now. It's a Built Basic shirt. So they're constantly trying to remind me and trying to get me into purchase, and it works because I have almost 14 of these type of shirts. So that's the power of Facebook ads. And I'll show you guys a couple more here. I was talking about ROI yesterday. Well, guess what? Look what pops up on my Facebook because I was talking about ROI. That's the power of Facebook ads. If Facebook ads don't work, people, most of these companies will not be spending a lot of money doing Facebook ads. Okay. So just a little plug I'll give. If anybody is interested, I'm going to drop a link for my new class that I am hosting called BSM 21. Brainstorming, strategy, and marketing in just 21 days. That's me teaching you one-on-one how to really get your business, from brainstorming stage to strategic marketing to strategy and marketing in just 21 days. Now, one last thing before I open up for questions, and please give me all the questions you guys possibly have, and I'll address some of the questions I got yesterday after I launched this. So let me go back into my screen here. That's good. Okay. So running Facebook ads, you also have to think about the type or sort of business that you're running. If you have a business that is brand new, different, something that you'd have to actually teach people about, you have to run a bunch of ads that are just traffic, or you're just trying to get likes or something like that. You have to blast it out to as many people as possible. And then once those people start taking actions on whatever you blast out, you start trying to run certain conversion ads to be able to reel those people in. The first time I ever saw a Built Basic ad on social media, I was probably just a speculator, like somebody who probably wouldn't have cared about it. But as soon as I started looking at these ads and clicking on these ads, and then the first time I made my purchase, I'm now into a pool where they know that I am a good potential customer. And that's who you want to target every single time. So imagine, I just told you how I could have made $14,000 between yesterday and today, right? Now imagine if I'm actually able to reach a bigger audience through Facebook advertising than I did yesterday through a generic post. Imagine getting a bunch of people who are interested in Facebook advertising. Who are interested in my product, and I reach them through Facebook advertising, and they start taking actions on my page. Those are my potential customers. So that's why it's very important for you to not only just run Facebook ads, but make sure you're running them the right way. So some of the requirements, of course, to run effective ads on Facebook and Instagram is you have to have a business manager page. So if you're a business owner and you don't have a Facebook business manager page, that's the first thing you should do right now. You should go get a Facebook business manager page. You should also create an ad manager page and create an ad account. That you can only run Facebook if you have an ad account. There's no other way. Then the next level of your Facebook ads from your ad account is the ad campaign. This is what you're trying to do. If you are running if you sell candles, for example, right, and you want to run ads to target like Christmas gifts, you want to make sure you set up your ads to tailor and target people who are shopping around October, November, December for Christmas gifts. Your ad set is pretty much the next step in advertising, and your ad set is where you want to set up your demographics. Who are you trying to target? I own a wedding venue, and I'm not trying to target people who are under 18, because most people under 18 are not looking for a wedding venue. I target people from 18 to about 65 because your moms and grandmas who actually sometimes will link people to our stuff. And then the last step of your Facebook ads is called ad sets. This is where you have to get creative. This is where you have to be able to capture people's attention. Every time you make a post on Facebook, you are competing with the twerking people. You're competing with the cat lady that has 1 million cats on Facebook or Instagram. You're competing with news stories. You're competing with birthdays, things like that. And what I mean by competing is you're competing for attention. So in your ad creative, if you're targeting certain people in a certain demographic, you have to make sure you're thinking about the appropriate ad creative that'll get that person's attention. Let me give you an example. I am Nigerian, and if I see an ad that has Nigerian food, I'm a potential customer, right? But if you just put the word Nigerian food, I'm probably not going to click on it, because I'm going to click on this crazy story of the pastor spitting on somebody's face, or I'm probably going to click on something about Betty White or something like that. But if you have an ad creative, that shows Nigerian food with steam and stuff coming out of it, I'm more likely to say, let me hear more about this. And I have done that. I've actually done that, and I've actually purchased some Nigerian food that way online. So this is exactly how Facebook works. It is powerful. It is, if you're not using it for your business, you are leaving a bunch of money on the table. So that concludes the talking part of my live video. I do want to take some questions, and I hope that I get some questions from the people watching right now. Just whatever questions you have, just type it in there. If I can answer it online and I can help you or help somebody else. Now, there is a question that I got yesterday that I think is very, very, very important. The question was, are reels important, or how important are reels? And I want I want you guys to really think about this with me, okay? Because the way Reels work, Facebook is Facebook is competing with TikTok tremendously, right? So they are giving a lot of viewage to Reels because they want to compete with TikTok. Now, so when you post a Reel, it can go viral a whole lot easier than a generic post. Well, guess what? Facebook just tweaked the algorithms to do that because they want people to have more Reels and more short videos because that's popular right now. Now, it's very important to understand a distinguishing factor between people who are watching your Reels, liking your Reels, and your potential clients. Because not everybody that watches a Reel or follows your Reel or likes your Reel or shares your Reel is a potential client. Reels are sort of like a new thing because our attention spans are getting so low. So people are constantly looking for short videos to keep their attention. It doesn't necessarily mean clients though. So while I think it's important to do some really good Reels, I mean, it's free, right? Just post a Reel up and hopefully it goes viral and you may get some new people added to your network, to your likes through that. However, if you really want to target the people who are supposed to be potential clients of your business, you want to actually go into Facebook advertising. So do your Reels, do your generic post, do your encouraging words and things like that that just get people loving your business. But you have to have Facebook ads because you want to be able to reach the people who are actually interested in your product and not people who are just liking your video just because, the video is, I don't know. There's so many crazy videos out there, so many crazy Reels. So we have some questions. Let me go into this real quick. Jubilee. Okay. You mentioned, so the question is, you mentioned not all businesses will do well with Facebook ads. Please, can we know the businesses that fall into this category? Okay. So let me rephrase that. Most businesses will do great with Facebook ads. Just think about what Facebook ads do. And when I say Facebook ads, I'm talking about Facebook and Instagram, right? We are on our phones. Each person right now is on their phones on social media at least an hour to 2 hours a day, right? Compared to, like, say, for example, putting up a billboard. You put up a billboard, it's nice and shiny. You pay $3, $5, $7, $10,000 for this billboard. And you're just hoping that somebody actually looks at it and writes down your information or goes to your website. You're just hoping somebody does. As opposed to Facebook ads, where not only people that are searching for your business, but people that don't even know they need your services yet. So what sort of businesses, what sort of businesses does Facebook ads not work for? Well, you don't ever see a Coca-Cola ad on Facebook. You don't really see that much, right? That's one business that Facebook ads really doesn't work for because Coca-Cola not trying to, when they do advertisements, they're not trying to get new customers. They're just trying to remind you that Coca-Cola exists. So you're going to see more billboards, you're going to see more TV ads and things like that, or holiday ads. I think Coke actually spend a lot of time on ads during the holidays. Now, there is this business, and this is client I had that had a business that was sort of like a brand new idea. I'm trying not to give too much specifics, but a brand new idea. It's going to be difficult because every time you run an ad, you have to teach people about your business. You have to teach people, hey, by the way, I don't know if you like my services or my business, but this is what it does. Facebook ads would still work, but you would end up spending more money trying to convert people to become clients. And say, for example, you owned a clothing store or a food business or a photography company or a real estate company. Those are businesses that actually work really good with Facebook ads. So to rephrase that, Jubilee, most businesses will thrive using Facebook. It's the best form of advertising right now. So let's get the next question. Femsta says, hey Femsta, what's up, man? Long time. How to get leads through marketing. This is an excellent question. And I think this is actually, if anybody's really serious about Facebook advertising, this is one question that you should really start asking. How do you get leads? Leads are so important, right? You have to build up a lead list, and you can get lead lists in so many different places, in so many different ways. You can also get it from within Facebook. So what's he talking about with a lead list, right? This is a list of people who are interested in your business, right? Back in the day, you go to JCPenney, they'll ask you, hey, do you want to sign up for this free credit card, this and that? You fill out that information. Guess what? You've just added yourself to a list. All of a sudden, you start to get things in the mail that say JCPenney, 20% off, 30% off. We know everybody remembers that, right? So that's a lead list. So when you're on somebody's lead list, they're able to market to you a whole lot easier. Well, guess what? If you constantly keep seeing the same ad over and over again, like I do, I see the same ad about cameras and videography equipment and things like that, because I'm probably on some of those lead lists of people, because at some point I have either purchased a product that has led me into that lead list, or I have used my credit card, a credit card that actually sells information to certain marketers and things like that. That's not typical, but that's possible. So the question is, how getting leads through marketing? You have to just start running ads. So if you go into the Facebook ad machine, the first thing that you're going to see is what kind of ad do you want to create? And Facebook will ask you, do you want a traffic ad or do you want an engagement ad? Those two things are important. A traffic ad is your Facebook ad just blasts to as many people as possible. Just think about this. Again, I run a wedding venue. When I blast my ads out, it's cheap to do that. It's cheaper to do that, way cheaper. I'm going to hit, that ad is going to be showing to some 70-year-old married man that has no kids. So he's less likely to care about my ads, right? So hopefully someone like that does not get into my lead list. But if he engages with my post, he will somehow get into my lead list. Now, you want to constantly keep running ads and refining your ads to make sure you're getting the best clients. And all of a sudden, you're building this list of people who are really interested in your business. Now, when you give or send out some sort of offer with a timeline, like say, for example, 20% off between now and the next 15 days, you're more likely to convert that person. So when you're thinking about running your ads, you want to think about a sales funnel, right? Where you have a cold audience. These are people who may or may not care about your business. And the more you run those ads, you get more and more people who are interested in your business. And this is where you spend some more money on advertising to convert those people and make them clients. So that's how you build a lead list. Femsta, so you can, say for example, you can throw out a video on your business page. Make sure it's your business page. It's not going to happen on your personal page. And from that video, you can run ads on people who have watched that video for 5 seconds. Very important. Reason why it's important, on social media, 2 seconds is a long time. If I watch a video for 5 to 10 seconds, I'm interested in some capacity with what you're selling. So you can run ads. That's how you build a list. Show me Facebook. You go to Facebook and say, Facebook, show me people who have watched my video for 5 to 10 seconds. That's a pretty good lead list. Not everybody's going to be a client, but at least 80% of that population is going to be a client. That's where the creativity of your video comes up. That's where the ad creative comes up. You want to be able to make sure you have a video or photos that are so catchy that it stops people from scrolling. Now, if I see a video that's catchy and I hate and I don't care about it, I scroll away from it. But if it's something I'm somewhat interested in, I'm going to sit and watch, wait a minute, what's this new service? What's this new project? So that's how you generate a lead list, and you constantly keep marketing to those people. Just like I told you guys, built basics. That's what I have on right now because they constantly marketed to me. So thanks for the question. I really appreciate it. Okay, next question. This is Laquanza. So, how many different ads should be ran at one time? And how often should you run a new ad? That's a wonderful, wonderful question. So, it depends on your ad budget, right? So, this will go back into like the formation of your business. Like when you're writing the budget for your business, like your day-to-day operating cost, your variable costs, fixed, all this stuff. You want to be able to put a number in there for advertising, right? Like for example, I think I have maybe a $1,500 a month budget for ads. I never spend anything close to that on ads a month, but that was my initial budget for ads, right? So say for example, you have a $400 a month budget for ads, right? The question is, how many different ads should be run at one time? So it's not so much about running different ads just because you want to run different ads, as much as it is running different ads to see what your audience reacts to the most. So a good way to start is to run 4 ads, right? Maybe one ad would be a video, one ad would be a carousel, and another ad would be a different kind of video, right? And then you now want to start studying what those videos are doing. You want to study the reaction from people. You want to study what wows your people. What ad increased my sales this month, right? So you want to be able to study those ads, and now every time you want to reach new clients or create a new ad, you're going to probably use the similar steps, the similar objectives like those ads. So for me, sometimes I run 4 ads at once. Right now, I think I have like 2 or 3 ads going on, nothing more than that. And then you also want to switch out your ads. Very important. You don't want your ads to get boring, right? Sometimes Facebook actually tells you, like, listen, Facebook will send you a notification like, listen, this ad, people are getting tired of seeing it. Right? That's the power of Facebook. It tells you people are getting tired of seeing this ad. The ad is good, but change the video. Like Facebook will actually give you the recommendation. The ad is good, but change the video. That just happened to me actually, and I had to change the ad, and now that ad is delivering a whole lot better. I think right now my cost per click is about 50 cents. 50 cents per click. That's cheap. Facebook advertising is cheap. Very cheap, and it gets cheaper if you really know what you're doing. It's very important because you can mess up Facebook ads. It's not a perfect. It's not a easy thing to do. It's not rocket science either. But you want to know exactly what you're doing when you're running Facebook ads. So how many different ads should be ran at one time? Kwanzaa, it is. It really depends on your ad budget. I recommend starting with like 3 or 4. And start narrowing it down to see what works best for you, just to test your ad creatives and things like that. If you have a product that is mainly booked around Christmas time, you want to run a bunch of ads, right? You want to drill down, get a bunch of ads in October and November, so by Christmas time, people are buying your product as a Christmas gift. And how often should you run ads? That's important. How often should you run ads? I think you should have ads running every month, right? Sometimes I have a cool off period, about 2 to 3 weeks, where you just kind of go quiet for a little bit, and then I will go back to running them, just so you are people don't forget about your business. So great question to an awesome client. All right. So let's see. Call. Do you recommend boosting your post for? So, do you recommend your post? Hold on, sorry. Do you recommend boosting your post on your Facebook business page for more engagement? Hey, Carl, that's a great question. It depends on what your objective is, right? So, if you boost a post for more engagement, right? All you're doing is you're just boosting your post to anybody. If you hit that boost button, it's anybody. Let's say, for example, you sell backpacks, right? Um, would you want college students looking at that post? Would you want to waste your money having a college student? Well, I guess college students do use backpacks now. Think about it, right? But a post-college graduate or somebody who's in online schools, right? You want to, when you boost a post, your post is going out to so many different kinds of people who may not necessarily care about your business, right? Who may say care about your business. So you want to be able to, I think boosting posts is great because you just get engagement, right? And engagement is great, but you want to make sure your engagement, as much as possible, are people who are potential clients. Because when you boost a post, you get engagement, then what next? If 50% of the people who engage in your post are not your potential clients, was it worth it? So again, I'm not saying you should never boost a post. It's just not the appropriate way to advertise if you're really trying to use the full power of Facebook advertising. So, great question. I hope that I answered it. If you have any follow-up question with that, please, if I can help you, help somebody else, that'd be great. So, good. Okay, so I'm just gonna hang around for a few more minutes, seconds. If anybody has any question, jump in. If anybody has a follow-up question, a marketing question, if you want to learn more about my BSM 21 program, you can send me a message, you can comment on here, and I can't wait for that to kick off. I am going to keep it very limited. I want to be able to get you your business. If you have an existing business, I want to be able to help you to keep up with marketing and make sure you can actually reach people who are going to give you customer equity, aka return customers. I'll also make this one statement, right? It's very important to constantly, and this is one of the reasons behind this BSM 21 program. It's very important for you to constantly check to see and make sure that your business, marketing, your operations is keeping up with the times. You see, marketing and digital marketing and marketing in general is very dynamic. Remember, Snapchat came out and it blew everybody out the water, but nobody really talks about Snapchat as much. Snapchat is pretty much dead as an advertising tool. So it's very important to constantly keep testing your marketing strategy and make sure you're keeping up with the times. And don't just feel like, you know what, it worked for me then, it's going to work for me now. Once upon a time, I used to go to bridal shows all the time, and they worked. I still think bridal shows work, but they don't work for me as good as they worked in the past. So I had to move on from bridal shows. So there was a time Google Ads worked. There was a time did not work for me, but I had to move on with the times. Now, what I'm doing right now is I'm constantly searching for the next new thing, because you want to make sure you're not behind on marketing. Okay, so looks like we don't have any other questions. If anybody has any follow-up question and you don't feel comfortable enough sharing that information in the public forum, just feel free to send me an inbox message. Thank you guys tremendously for listening to me ramble about stuff that I love so much. And I hope you guys have a good rest of the day. Thank you very much.